am going to read the first chapter of Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. He'd stopped trying to bring her back. She only came back when she felt like it, in dreams and lies and broken down deja vu. Like he'd be driving to work, and he'd see a girl with red hair standing on the corner, and he'd swear for half a choking moment that it was her. Then he'd see that the girl's hair was more blonde than red, and that she was holding a cigarette, and wearing a Sex Pistols t-shirt. Eleanor hated the Sex Pistols. Eleanor, standing behind him until he turned his head, lying next to him just before he woke up, making everyone else seem drabber and flatter, and never good enough. Eleanor ruining everything. Eleanor gone. He stopped trying to bring her back. August 1986. Chapter 1. Park. XTC was no good for drowning out the morons at the back of the bus. Park pressed his headphones into his ears. Tomorrow he was going to bring Skinny Puppy, or the Misfits. Or maybe he'd make a special bus tape with as much screaming and wailing on it as possible. He could get back to New Wave in November, after he got his driver's license. His parents had already said Park could have his mom's Impala, and he'd been saving up for a new tape deck. Once he started driving at school, he could listen to whatever he wanted, or nothing at all, and he'd get to sleep in an extra 20 minutes. That doesn't exist, someone shouted behind him. Stephen shouted back. Drunken monkey style, man. It's a real thing. You can kill somebody with it. You're full of it. You're full of it, Steve said. Park, hey Park. Park heard him but didn't answer. Sometimes if you ignored Steve for a minute, he'd move on to someone else. Knowing that was 80% of surviving with Steve as your neighbor. The other 20% was just keeping your head down, which Park had momentarily forgotten. A ball of paper hit him in the back of the head. Those were my human growth and development notes, Tina said. I'm sorry, baby, Steve said. I'll teach you all about human growth and development. What do you need to know? Teach your drunken monkey style, someone said. Park, Steve shouted. Park pulled down his headphones and turned to the back of the bus. Steve was holding court in the last seat. Even sitting, his head practically touched the roof. Steve always looked like he was surrounded by doll furniture. He'd looked like a grown man since the 7th grade, and that was before he grew a full beard. Slightly before. Sometimes Park wondered if Steve was with Tina because she made him look even more like a monster. Most of the girls from the flats were small, but Tina couldn't be 5 feet, massive hair included. Park tossed Tina her balled-up homework. She caught it. Park, Steve said, tell Mikey about Drunken Monkey Karate. I don't know anything about it, Park shrugged. But it exists, right? I guess I've heard of it. There, Steve said. He looked for something to throw at Mikey, but couldn't find anything. He pointed instead. I told you. Sure didn't know about Kung Fu, Mikey said. Are you retarded? Steve said. His mom's Chinese. Mikey looked at Park carefully. Park smiled and narrowed his eyes. Yeah, I guess I see it, Mikey said. I always thought you were Mexican. Mikey, Steve said. You're such a racist. She's not Chinese, Tina said. She's Korean. Who is? Steve asked. Park's mom. Park's mom had been cutting Tina's hair since grade school. They both had the exact same hairstyle, long spiral perm with tall feathered bangs. She's hot is what she is, Steve said, cracking himself up. No offense, Park. Park managed another smile and slunk back into his seat, putting his headphones back on and cranking up the volume. He could still hear Steve and Mikey 4 seats behind him. Park noticed a new girl at about the same time everybody else did. She was standing at the front of the bus, next to the first available seat. There was a kid sitting there by himself, a freshman. He put his bag down on the seat beside him, then looked the other way. Before he'd even decided to do it, Park scooted toward the window. Sit down, he said. It came out angrily. The girl turned to him, like she couldn't tell whether he was another jerk or what. Jesus, Park said softly, nodding to the space next to him. Just sit down. The girl sat down. She didn't say anything, thank God. She didn't thank him, and she left 6 inches of space on the seat between them. Park turned toward the plexiglass window and waited for a world of suck to hit the fan.